Vegas loses to the Indianapolis Colts, man. 25-20. Jeff Saturday and the boys, man. Shout out to Jeff Saturday. Shout out to the Colts. Shout out to Matt Ryan.
He's healthy. How did this happen?
I can't believe it. When I seen Matt Ryan come out, Max, I literally said, fuck, I think we're gonna lose today. Where the hell is Sam Ehlinger? I was expecting a mediocre quarterback, and I'm seeing Matt Ryan. And look, man, I just the game itself, if you want to know what happened in this game, watch every Raider game this year besides the Saints game, and you'll find out how this game happened. It's deja vu. It's the same pattern. Raiders have a little bit of, some well-working offense in the middle of the game, somewhere in the game where they look good, they look elite, but they shit the bed. They can't finish the game. That's how this game went on. And the Colts made more plays. The Colts stuck it out and had more grit, and that's the facts of it. I want to get down to what's going on with this team eternally. And I got a little clip for you, Max, and I want to know your opinion on what you think about this.
It's hard knowing what some guys are doing. Like I said, just to practice what they're putting in their body just to sleep at night. Like just so we could be there for each other. And I wish everybody in that room felt the same way about this place. And as a leader, that pisses me off, if I'm being honest.
That's my quarterback. That's my damn quarterback one.
He did have some fucking Tony Romo vibes right there. But look,
so he's saying I think like there's guys in the locker room that don't feel the same, right? That's what he's going for.
Yeah.
Well, I here's what I think. One, I don't think McDaniels is in over his head. Like I've said from before, since day one, I want to say maybe you didn't feel this way. I was like, this team doesn't have the talent. Like, it looks good on a few positions, but you're like, oh, look at this fucking O-line. Look at this D-line. Other than Max Crosby, we thought Chandler Jones was going to be something. And one, you can attest, bust. No cover guys really to speak of. Nate Hobbs got hurt. Safeties, cut Jonathan Abram. What's new? First round picks don't matter, right? One, that's what you always say. I'm just quoting you on that, but another topic for another day. This is just, I think this is a guy who's frustrated with the way it's gone. There was a lot of expectations, especially from a guy who went, would they go 9-8 last year? 10-7?
10-7.
10-7. I think this has been the worst possible case for the Raiders. They've lost a bunch of close games. I think they should stick it out with McDaniels because at the end of the day, one, it's not like you're getting blown out week in, week out. You guys compete. You guys are, there's signs of life. And I have two questions for you, and then I'll give you the floor. What was Devontae's usage at today? Like the amount of times Carr was looking for him?
I'm saying 85%. I mean,
what is it normally when like Renfro's there? Is it still like 85%?
Yeah, it's still
Devontae eccentric. Is it like too much?
I don't think it's too much. I just think.
Granted, you've had Waller, Renfro, and Adams out there for a total of what, 50 plays?
2 games.
Yeah, 50 fucking plays. So that right there is all you need to say. Like, wow, it's all Derek Carr's fucking fault, but he hasn't had his tight end all fucking year, who's elite. His really good slot receiver's been banged up and having a horrible year. So, I mean, what say you want? You're the Raider expert, not me.
How many times do you think, Max, this season the Raiders have started off on the opponent's territory to start a drive this year?
Oh, I've watched a handful of games and I never saw it, so I'm going to go with twice, maybe 3 times.
Right on the nose, 3 times. League worst. I think that just goes to show you the lack of defense, the lack of playmaking, and the lack of turnovers, like plays being made. And like someone has to pay for this. Someone like Jonathan Abram can't be the fucking scapegoat here. Someone has to be held accountable.
But were those people already held accountable and they no longer have jobs? Because like we've said, Josh McDaniels, Patrick Graham, who's your GM now?
Dave Ziegler.
Dave Ziegler, they inherited this shit for the most part.
For the most part, but that press conference is very telling because Derek Carr is not usually a guy to give you anything like for press issues. Like he really doesn't. He's careful with his words. He's real generic. I think this is one of the first times I've seen him like break down like this. And what he said spoke volumes to me, bro. Like, I think Josh McDaniels has officially lost the locker room. And I think that's one of the worst things that could happen. And it's divided. I think it's obvious. Guys get so frustrated, whether it's Devontae Adams or Carr. It's just, you're not going to win with that. And I think it's a toxic environment. And I think today's loss is a fireable offense for McDaniels, man. And I think Mark Davis made a royal fucking mistake of firing, not keeping Bisaccia.
I think if Bisaccia is there, though, it would have made things a lot worse if they get off to the start. Because then, then it's just, let's just split right away. Like, oh, we want a Bisaccia, this guy was the guy.